Just this morning, some divorcing people were asking me, how do we divide up our personal property, our furniture, jewelry, the things that we have around the house? I'm Catherine Miller, and I've been a divorce attorney in New York City and Westchester County for over 30 years. And, I get that question a lot, and it's a kind of interesting thing because it's one of the things that as lawyers, we don't really like to deal with that. This is the kind of thing we just like, okay, go off and do that on your own. But there are some things to think about that I think would be useful for you to know. One is that we think about value as attorneys and in the law. We're thinking about the value of these objects and it's the value they are today, kind of the estate sale value, not replacement value. And so things that you have around the house and you've had around the house for a long time, unless they're art or antiques or something that accumulates value over time, probably you're talking about garage sale value. And so it's not worth it probably to have someone come in and do an appraisal of all the things in the house. Now, that's not necessarily true for things like jewelry or art or collections. So in order to divide those things up just physically, what people will do sometimes is you pick one, I'll pick one, you pick one, I'll pick one, or sometimes people make a list of each things that they want, and then they just talk through the conflict list. We both want the dining room table, so how are we going to handle that? Or sometimes people go around the house and I've got a blue stickum and you've got a red stickum, and we just kind of go through and figure out how we're going to divide that kind of thing up. One thing that is often really hard is how to divide up stuff that doesn't have value intrinsically, but it has a lot of emotional value. The artwork of your children, right? Their kindergarten project, those are the kinds of things that are really irreplaceable. So photographs, easy to replace or duplicate. You can buy a new dining room table, but our children's artwork is something that can be quite challenging for people to divide up. And so in those circumstances, it makes sense maybe to get a facilitator, work with a parenting coordinator or a mediator to go through and figure out how you're going to share those items. We've put together a guide for you in thinking about dividing up personal property. And if you give us your contact information in the link below, we'd be happy to send it over. Thanks for listening.